Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So I'm here today with what's going to be part one of a 4-part series. So a couple weeks ago now, my family and I ended up going on a short vacation, our first in, a long time. And so we ended up going down to Columbus, Ohio, which at first seems completely random, and frankly, it is very random. But this strategic location was picked because there were like 3 or 4 different half-price books in the area when I looked it up. And not only that, there was the Columbus Zoo in the area, which is one of the more popular zoos in this, kind of in the Midwest, one of the more renowned zoos in the area. And so we wanted to go there. And then there was this awesome museum called Otherworld that we, I don't know how we found out about it, I guess, but it looked amazing. And so it really looked like something we would enjoy. And so we wanted to do that. And so it kind of just worked out. There were things that my wife wanted to do, things that I wanted to do, and more importantly, things that my daughter would have fun doing. And so we ended up going down to Columbus to spend some time, and it was a blast. So let me mention with Otherworld again. If you guys are in the area, check it out, especially if you're watching this channel. You probably like things like this. And so it felt very Geiger-esque, I guess I'll say. Like, it felt like I was kind of in the set of an Alien film at different points. It was super interactive. So my 2-year-old, who's almost 3, she loved it. It was a museum that you could touch and play with everything. And so she had a blast looking through everything, all these like black lights. I don't know. I'm hopefully showing some images now of our time there because it was awesome. And I definitely recommend it if you are in the area or happen to be passing through the area. Very reasonably priced, especially for all the content. It was a really cool experience. So that aside, why you're here today is to talk about some of the items that I picked up while on vacation, because it was a media-heavy vacation. It's what I'm calling my Media-Cation. And so today is part one, like I said, of a 4-part haul. This one is going to be based on the half-price books items that I got. I actually have 2 parts for half-price books, and then the next 2 entries in my thrift store haul series are both going to be parts of my Media-Cation, because there was like a thrift store right across from the hotel we stayed at that was amazing. And then there was a Goodwill next to a Goodwill outlet store right across from the Otherworld Museum. And so it just worked out really well. So I have about 9 books and 7 DVDs to talk about today. And the next part of my half-price book is going to be all Blu-rays and 4K. And then we'll have my books and movies and kind of miscellaneous stuff with my thrift store hauls, as those always are. So hopefully you guys are excited for this 4-part series, which I'm not going to post back to back, but you should see over the next few weeks here. So if you do enjoy this video, please give it a like down below. That really does help me out. But with that said, guys, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into my first Media-Cation video, where I'm talking all of the DVDs and the books that I grabbed from Half Price Books. As usual, I'll start with the books, and I'll start off with the 2 non-media tie-in books. These are both middle grade, and they are both books that I still needed from the Goosebumps series. So first up, we have Goosebumps, the blob that ate everyone, and then we have Beware the Snowman. So of course, both of these are written by R.L. Stine, and unfortunately, both of these are reprints, and so they don't have the spine number on them, so I don't know, I have no idea offhand what numbers these are, but I'm excited to find these, because I looked through a couple different half-price books while I was out there. Honestly, I was a little disappointed in the pricing in half-price books, and so I only ended up stopping at 2. There were like 3 or 4 in the area. I said, you know what? I spent enough at these 2. Like, I'm done. And so at those 2, I only found 2 books in the Goosebumps series that I needed, which is a real shame, because the last time I was at a Half Price Books, it was a vacation that we were on, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. At that point, the one I went to just happened to have a ton of the original printings of the Goosebumps books, but I wasn't really buying them at that point, and so I passed up on them. But hey, I got 2. That's better than nothing. So I am getting closer and closer to completing the original line, which again, I'm not looking for original printings, just I want to have the books. And so that's a step closer to that. So that's cool. So again, Goosebumps, Beware the Snowman, and The Blob That Ate Everyone. 2 books for my Goosebumps collection. Getting closer to completing that bad boy. So all 7 of the rest of these books are all media tie-in, which you guys know is totally my thing. So I was super happy to find these. First up here is a novelization, but it's actually a novelization to an old computer game. So not for a movie as you normally see, but this is called The Dig, and it's written by Alan Dean Foster, who is frankly one of the most renowned, I guess I'll say, novelization writers around. And so this one should be excellent. I cannot wait to dive into this. And this is cool because honestly, I've wanted to play this video game for the longest time, but I know I won't get into it because it's an old like computer. I want to say it's like an old computer, either point and click game or CRPG. I don't know exactly, but yeah, it's one that I'm just certain I would never finish, but I want to hear the story because I've heard that the story is incredible in this game. And so this is the perfect way for me to get that story now. I cannot wait to dive into this one. So yeah, this should be awesome. This is The Dig, novelization to the computer game written by Alan Dean Foster. I was really thrilled to find this one because it completes my original Aliens series in novelization form. This is Alien Resurrection, written by A.C. Crispin. So I think it's the first 3 Alien novelizations. They're all written by Alan Dean Foster. I had all those. The only one I needed from the original quadrilogy was Alien Resurrection, and I was able to find it. It's honestly not in the best shape, but that's okay. I thought it was good enough to own, and you know, it's going to be good enough to read, which is really what matters. So yeah, this one I am super interested in reading because this is one of the more lauded films in the series. I actually really like the movie myself. I prefer the director's cut that came out, after the fact, but I think it's still a very good movie. And so I am very intrigued to check this one out, which of course will be based on earlier drafts of the script. And so I'm really excited to see what is within these pages here. So you can see a couple pictures on the back there. Awesome. Just a really cool find that I'm happy now I've completed my quadrilogy of Alien novelization. So Alien Resurrection, written by A.C. Crispin. You can see here, based on the motion picture written by Joss Whedon. So yeah, should be a lot of fun to get through this one. Let's stick with the Alien world, I guess, because I did find the first 3 novels from the Aliens versus Predator line of books. And the first one is War, written by S.D. Perry. And then we have, what is this one? Prey, written by, again, it's S.D. Perry, but it's Steve Perry and Stephanie Perry. I believe they are a husband and wife duo. And then I think this is book number 3, Hunter's Planet, and this one is written by David Bischoff. So first off, these covers are awesome. I love them. And yeah, like I said, I've heard really good things about these, so I am super happy to have all 3 of these in my collection. I don't remember exactly if this is the entire series or not, if they have other ones, but I know at least these are the first 3. So yeah, very happy to have War, Prey, and Hunter's Prey in my Alien universe / Predator universe collection. So I've gotten a ton of books now for that universe, so that's awesome. I cannot wait to start diving into all these and reading them. But I have started with Alien. I read that one, but I have to keep going now through the series. So yeah, should be really fun when I get around to these. Next up is a book series that's based off of a television series. And so I was a little bit reticent on this one just because I haven't watched the series yet. But last year, Best Buy had a pricing error. And so I was able to get the entire series of Gotham for like, I have no idea what the price was now, but it was very cheap. And so I figured might as well pick up Gotham Dawn of Darkness, written by Jason Starr, because I will eventually watch that series. It's in my collection. But yeah, so like I said, I've not seen the series yet. I know my sister actually loves the series. She did pick it up when it was that price error as well. She loves it, and so I'm definitely going to check it out eventually. But yeah, so that I don't know exactly where this fits into that TV series, but I will be doing my research before I read it, so I read it at the correct point. But I think this is book 1 of a 2-book series. Now, mind you, I'm going off memory from like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's a little fishy, but I think that's what this is, if I remember right. So yeah, very intrigued to check out Gotham. I said that weird. Gotham Dawn of Darkness, written by Jason Starr. If you guys know anything about this series, let me know down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate knowing more. So this last book here was the one I was most excited to find, because if you guys have been following the channel since last year, you'll know that I read a middle grade series that I'd only heard about starting last year. I happened to find them at the bookstore and was like, what in the heck is this? I have to see this, or I have to read this rather, based on this as well. But this is the full adult novelization of M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense. And this one is written by Peter Larangis. You can see it spelled there on the side. Maybe you can, there it is, Larangis. And so this one is one that I knew was a little bit pricier when I looked for it online last year. And so I just had never come across it before. All of a sudden, there it was at the bookstore. I knew I had to pick it up at Half Price Books. And so, yeah, I am so happy to have this one in the collection. I will definitely be reading this. You can actually see it does talk about down here. It says, look for the original, what is it? Look for The Sixth Sense, Secrets from Beyond, an original book series based on the movie coming soon. So what's interesting about that, though, is that it doesn't mention mention that that is actually a middle grade series. And so that makes me wonder, like, was that originally supposed to be a middle grade series? Because it's advertised on the back of the adult novelization. I don't know. It's just weird to me. So I don't know. It's intriguing, but I've read all three in that trilogy. They were not great, to be honest with you, but it was kind of just an oddity, something I'm very happy that I read because they're so interesting. And so I'm definitely reading this one. I cannot wait to check this one out. I always enjoyed this movie. M. Night Shyamalan's one of my favorites. So very excited to check out the Sixth Sense novelization. Like I said, this is by far my favorite find of the books that I have in this pile here. So very happy to have the Sixth Sense written by Peter Larangis in my collection. So now let's move over to the DVDs I ended up picking up. I guess this is a good time to address this now because I'll probably talk about it in the next video as well. But either way, I was super hyped to go to Half Price Books. Like, my wife got me a gift card. I was so thrilled to get out there. Unfortunately, when I got there, I was a little bit disappointed in the prices. And actually, it's funny. It was the same weekend. It was the 4th of July weekend. And Ken from Mid-Level Media, check out his channel, one of my favorites. He actually mentioned that they were having a 50% off sale at his local Half Price Books that weekend. And so I was in Ohio already. I was super excited. I knew I was going shopping the next day, me and my daughter. And so, like, I was so excited to go see what they had for half off. I get there. I don't see any signage. I'm like, what's going on? So I asked the lady and she's like, looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, no. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that stinks. So whatever the case is, they didn't have the 50% off going on. So that was disappointment number one. And then I was looking through the movies and I'm like, well, I'm not really seeing anything that I don't find elsewhere at like my local disc replays, but the prices were like 1.5 to 2 times more. Like, any movie I can get at disc replay on Blu-ray, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be $5. At Half Price Books, they were closer to $8 to $10. So that was disappointing. That was disappointment number 2. And then disappointment number 3 was looking for 4K movies. They had a ton of cases. Every time I pulled one off the shelf, it said no 4K included. So I have no idea if, like, what they did with the 4K discs. My only guess is that people were just trading them in without the 4K discs. So, like, what do? You just put them in binders and you get rid of the cases? Whatever, to each their own, right? But I don't know. I couldn't understand it. So anyway, this long ramble is taking me to the point that I really only purchased items. I think actually all of these, in this video and the next, were only items from the clearance section. So mind you, their clearance section was awesome. Like, they had a ton of stuff there, kind of weird things that I'd not seen elsewhere. And the second one I went to was just loaded with clearance items. So that was really cool. And they were a decent price, like $1 to $2 each. So that was worthwhile. I really liked that. But just if they didn't have that, I would have been super disappointed. But anyway, so I apologize. That was long and rambly. But anyway, as I was going through the clearance section, this guy on like a 3rd or 4th look through the clearance bins popped up and I'm like, whoa, what is this? I've never heard of this before. It looks awesome. It's Lucio Fulci. Like, of course I have to grab that. This is called 7 Doors of Death. And like I said, it is a Lucio Fulci film. And so look at this. This cover looks amazing. It's in widescreen. I was like, I've never heard of that movie before. I have to get that. It's The Beyond. I have heard of the movie. I own the movie from Grindhouse Releasing. I am just an idiot. I did not know that 7 Doors of Death was an alternate title for The Beyond. And so, yeah. So now I have this, which I do not need because I have the Blu-ray of The Beyond, and a really great edition of the Blu-ray because it's from Grindhouse Releasing. So, yeah. Live and learn, whatever. It was literally $1, so it's really not that big of a deal, but still disappointing that I picked up a DVD I didn't need. So anyway, the first one I grabbed, even though I didn't need to, was 7 Doors of Death from Lucio Fulci. All right, so let's move over to the movies that I actually plan to keep. The first one here is a movie that I saw in theaters, and it's one of those endings where, like, when you see it once, you can't really go back to it because it's not going to have the same effect, but that's all right. I want to see it again. I liked it. It's called Hide and Seek, and it has Dakota Fanning and Robert De Niro. Obviously, this is a young Dakota Fanning. This had to be like mid-2000, 2005 is when this one came out. So this one is a horror movie, I guess, more of a thriller, really, but it's kind of like what's going on here. I don't want to talk too much about it because I feel like it spoils it, so just watch it if you haven't seen it. It's not great, but I think it's decent, and this one was actually sealed, so that was cool. Yeah, so happy to have this one. Again, it's one I've been wanting to revisit. Basically anything from like the 2000s, I feel like I always want to revisit those if I've only seen them once, and this falls into that category. So Hide and Seek is the first of the DVDs that I'm actually keeping. This next one was a really lucky find because I was actually thinking about this movie like a week or two before we ended up going on vacation. I didn't know if I had it or not. Turns out I didn't. And then lo and behold, there it was in the clearance bin. This, of course, from the creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I kept mixing up their names when I tried doing this earlier. Anyway, this is Team America World Police, and this is the uncensored and unrated cut. This is a comedy. It's like an over-the-top comedy. If you like South Park, you'll probably like this, if you haven't seen it for whatever reason. But yeah, this one is just funny, and it has been since theaters since I've seen this one, so I definitely wanted to watch it again. But yeah, it's ridiculous and goofy. It's basically like, it's done with puppets. There's puppet lovemaking in here. Like, it's ridiculous. So if you haven't seen this one, it's worth at least one watch. I'm definitely going to check it out again because I think it's hilarious. So Team America World Police from the creators of South Park, and just as ridiculous, probably even more so than South Park itself. A really cool find for the collection. All right, here's another one where my buddy can yell at me after this video goes live because I'm going to say the director's name wrong again, but I always call them like Yui Bowl. It's not right, but this is Alone in the Dark. And so, yeah, this is one that I have wanted to see for the longest time because Christian Slater, Tara Reid, Steven Dorff, like, I feel like this is one of Bowles' bigger movies, I would say. I think this one actually got a theatrical release, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of rare for him. Well, I guess it's more rare nowadays than it was back then, but either way, this one has an awesome cover. I've always liked the cover for this, and so I figured this would be a good way to check it out, just because I've never seen it before. So yeah, very excited to check out Alone in the Dark with Christian Slater and Tara Reid. This one is in like mint condition. It looks like nobody ever touched it, but this is another Will Smith film for the collection, which I always love adding Will Smith movies because he's excellent. And it's actually, I just realized it's a Michael Mann film, so this one should be great. This is called Ali. And this, I feel like this is a more well-known film too. Again, because it is a Michael Mann film, people probably know it a lot better than I do, but it's one that I've not seen, and I am very excited to learn more about Muhammad Ali's story because obviously he's one of the greats in sports, period. So yeah, this one should be really good. I'm very excited to check out Will Smith in the Michael Mann film, Ali. This next one is one that I think is actually available in the Criterion Collection, if I'm not mistaken, and on Blu-ray, but I figured I would spend the $1 on the DVD to see if I like it or not, and then if I do, I can upgrade to the Blu-ray down the line if I see if I think it's necessary. But this is Igb Goes Down, so very intrigued to check this one out because it has Kieran Culkin in it. But aside from that, like Claire Danes, Jeff Goldblum, Amanda Peet, Ryan Phillippe, Bill Pullman, and Susan Sarandon are listed on the cover here. Like, that is an amazing cast, and so this one I've heard really good things about. It's supposed to be a dark comedy, which I am here for. So yeah, very interested to see if this one's any good or not. Igb Goes Down. Let me know if you guys own this on Criterion and if it's worth the upgrade or not. But yeah, definitely going to watch it first. So Igb Goes Down for super cheap on DVD. Last but not least is the one I was most excited about, which kind of sounds ridiculous when you actually see what this is. But yeah, I cannot wait to watch this. I watched like the first couple episodes of this series when it was new, but then it got canceled after one season. So this is Greg the Bunny, the complete first season. So I am so excited about this, you guys. Like I said, I remember when this debuted. I watched the first episode when it came out and I thought it was hilarious. And then I just I don't know if I ever went back to it from there. I was much younger at that point. But yeah, so what I always think about with Greg the Bunny is it's the last title that's mentioned on the very first episode of Family Guy after they were canceled and then they were brought back. It's ridiculous that I know this, but I've seen that episode a million times. But Peter's listing off all of the shows that have to get canceled in order for Family Guy to potentially come back, which of course is what happened. And the very last one on there is Greg the Bunny. So I don't know. I just love that connection. And in my head, that's like why I want to watch Greg the Bunny again. But yeah, so I definitely am checking this one out. There's actually, I think, like 2 unaired episodes, yeah, including 2 episodes that never aired on TV. So yeah, this is an awesome find. And literally this was $3. Like, of course I'm getting this. I cannot wait to visit this again. So yeah, Greg the Bunny, the complete first season, the complete series actually, is my last find and definitely the one I am most excited about. So that's going to be everything that I found in the DVD and book realm at Half Price Books. All right, so there it is, all 9 books and 7 DVDs. I think this was pretty good. And like I mentioned, all of the movies were from the clearance bin. The books were not, but they were decently priced at least. So yeah, though my experience at Half Price Books wasn't the best, at least I still got a cool load of things here to talk about. So yeah, really excited to get to these ones. Let me know down in the comments below, do you guys shop at Half Price Books? And if you do you get better deals than I was seeing? Because it was a dud weekend for me. But let me know what your thoughts are down in those comments below, and let me know if you've read or seen any of these and where I should prioritize. So thanks for all those comments. I really do appreciate that. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like down below. That really does help me out here. And like I always say, I don't just talk one piece of media. I talk all things media, be it books, movies, manga, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.